Marcio, and hi, JD. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing very good, thank you.
So your cards say you are marketing manager and vice president at Zendesk. Would you talk a little bit about what is your job, like your daily job and your general mission?
Yeah. Running my job as vice president of marketing is to run several of our operational functions within the marketing department. So everything from our customer outreach and evangelism to our content marketing, our email, our social. I could go on and on. So I have a good sized team of over 20 people now, or right around 20 people. For those types of functions. And one specific area is some of our international areas of focus, some of the countries that we've specifically decided to invest in, and that's kind of where Marcio comes into play in Brazil. He can tell you a little bit about that.
So I'm Marcio, and I'm the marketing manager for Brazil. So basically what I do, I take all these projects that he was talking about from the US or globally, and I bring those to Brazil and localize those to make sure we're growing our presence down here. So basically that's my job.
You both work out of San Francisco?
Yes, we're at the headquarters in San Francisco. Okay. We do have a small office now here in Sao Paulo, but just one person at the moment, looking to grow that over time.
And
so
I spend my time between San Francisco and Sao Paulo.
Okay. Yeah. If someone wants to get in touch personally with Zendesk in Brazil, so they can reach for who in Sao Paulo?
They can reach for João Oliveira.
João Oliveira.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys watching must have met him at one of many events here. So, you both came to Brazil, so it was something important? Like, vacations are important,
but
there's someone else there?
Yeah, man, the beach in Rio was quite nice. We came for a whole bunch of reasons, really.
Hiring. Tell us, it's hiring.
Yes. Yeah, except for bringing them back with us. No, we came here for a bunch of reasons, really, to visit a lot of our customers and potential customers, spend some time working with them, talking with them, and then a whole bunch of events. Some events of our own. We run events called Zendesk University, where we help clients and people, prospects looking at Zendesk to better understand the tool, be more successful with what we do, teach them best practices. So we did one of those in Rio and then one here in Sao Paulo. And then just a whole slew of other events, visiting various startup incubators around the country, and lots of other things. And it all kind of culminated last night with a major event that we helped organize and sponsor that we called Silicon Valley Day 2014 here in Sao Paulo, with a bunch of other like-minded companies.
Yeah, a bunch of friends from the Valley. We thought it would be a good idea to share our experiences. A lot of these people, they live like me between San Francisco and Sao Paulo, back and forth. So it's just a good opportunity to share a little bit of what we do, and how are we localizing our businesses to Brazil. That was good.
So you came to Brazil because you already have clients here, and these like-minded companies also have, or they are like checking out how Brazil is?
They all do. Yeah. We've got, almost 2,000 clients here in Brazil already, and I think probably the other companies we worked with are kind of at similar stages. But I think everybody's starting to see some good momentum here, and really just wants to continue to grow and capitalize on that.
And some of these companies don't have offices here like we do, so they're definitely stepping in the market right now. So they're taking back, the feedback and experience to their headquarters, like, hey, it's time for an office, we need to hire in Brazil. So that, we're really happy to help on that, to show them like how it works, so this process of like actually being here.
And the general sensation is like, it's good to have an office in Brazil.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think we definitely see that having a local presence is important. So people, I think, both know that we're serious about Brazil, and that we really are investing and taking this market serious. And then certainly certain clients and prospects want to have I don't know if you have a similar expression in Portuguese, but FaceTime. They want to see us, they want to talk.
Cara a cara.
There you go.
It's really important, and I'm Brazilian, so I know this quite well, that people you have to be present here. You need to talk to people, you need to visit places, you need to go to events, you just need to be here. People want to see you, even if it's like 2 minutes, but they want to talk to you. So it's really important for us.
Have you worked?
You're Brazilian?
Yeah.
Have you worked in Brazil before, or?
I have. I worked for a lot of companies in the Valley that were doing business in Brazil. So be the guy helping, open the office here or projects now in Brazil. So
why not mention some? Can he?
Yeah.
He should.
I work for Zezo. It's sort of like an e-commerce, customized products, and so forth. I work for a few banks. Not very exciting, I suppose, finance, but that definitely has helped them. Some projects in South America. And then I ended up at Zendesk. So.
Great. And you, what have you done before Zendesk?
Yeah, so all sorts of things too. Pretty much my entire working career has been in the Silicon Valley and the San Francisco Bay Area. A myriad of startups. My career, at least in a real way, got going way back in the day when a little startup that was called Hotmail, the free email company. Eventually we got acquired by Microsoft. I put in a few years there, and then really a myriad of startups that most of them didn't do quite well, so you probably won't know the names. But then I ended up kind of getting into the email marketing and marketing automation space. Companies like Lyris and Marketo. Marketo started to become a better, well-known company, went public last year. And then I've been at Zendesk about 3 years. And my career's been a mix of marketing and product management types of roles. So done a little bit of everything.
Yeah. The company is 6 years old now?
It's about 6.5 years old. 6.5 years old, yeah.
And it has now how many people in the world?
We're in the ballpark of about 650.
Yeah, more or less.
Which, when I joined 3 years ago, we were in the 60s. So it's been about 10 times growth in employees in 3 years, which is pretty exciting.
And you mentioned product. When it comes to bringing it to Brazil or someone else, do you need to make changes or just translate it into Portuguese?
Yeah, I think you can answer as well too. Not so far have we had to make any kind of fundamental changes, change features or add specific features for this market. It mostly is about the language, although I would shy away from just saying translated, and I would prefer to use the word localized, as I think it's not just doing kind of a straight translation of the terms, but oftentimes making it use kind of more of the local language and make it feel and seem much more kind of truly Brazilian, I guess you could say. Is that fair way to put it?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. We do a lot of local cases, things that the Brazilian public can relate to, researches, surveys and stuff with proper market data, the things that people can relate to. So we definitely do that. But the product is quite easy to use, so there's not much we need to change. There's the feeling of the product is really like. You have Facebook or Twitter, it's all very intuitive, very easy. So our product has a similar feeling, so there's not really much you need to change to adapt to the market.
Yeah, we understand that the whole system is designed to make it easier for service attendants and people like those. So I guess you guys as a company also use Zendesk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you have someone to pick up the phone or the client in Portuguese and stuff? If I'm your client, I can get to you in Portuguese.
We have support in Portuguese, we have event support, we have a sales team, there's marketing, me, and another person, so it's really 2 people.
Yep.
So we have a team for sure.
And about your clients, are they like startups or also big guys, or?
It's really across the board, and it's the same in Brazil as really around the world. Zendesk is a great fit, frankly, for anybody from a very small startup just getting going all the way up to some of the biggest enterprises and corporations that there are. It's a very flexible solution in that sense. And I think another great thing about Zendesk, as I always say, is if you have a business and you have customers, you can use Zendesk. It really spans across all industries and verticals as well. Here in Brazil, lots and lots of startups using us, lots of very small businesses, but then also big businesses, Buscapay, Cacao Show, Corinthians soccer team. Actually, we have a lot of the pro soccer teams, which is exciting. So really, big, interesting companies, as well as all the cool startups that are happening down here.
Is it easier to use Zendesk if you are a big corporation or a small startup?
Both ways, actually. The Zendesk is so flexible. Well, for example, we can give Groupon as an example. Groupon started with Zendesk when there were like literally 3 people in a garage or something. And now this massive corporation with thousands of agents. I think it's actually our best case for a startup.
Yeah. And I think it demonstrates how Zendesk can scale and grow with you as well. So even if you're just a startup today, obviously the goal is to not be a startup a few years from now, to really grow and be a bigger business. And we have not seen where people hit the ceiling or can't continue to grow with Zendesk. It really scales with people, which is exciting.
Did things change in the company in the past 3 years, or in the product or on the business side? We had to pivot or not?
Not in a pivot, not in a classic sense of pivoting where we change our focus or change our business direction. Certainly, there's been a lot of change, and I think most of that.
Increase, you would say increase.
Yeah, I think most of the change, fortunately, just due to the growth and the success we've had. But yeah, I think there's been some big changes. Some of which actually, one interesting change is that initially in Zendesk, in fact, up to about our first 10,000 customers, we did it without a sales force, an actual sales team. It was very organic, buy the product through the website, that sort of thing, which you can still do today. But over time, we started to have to add other operational components like a dedicated sales team.
And that's what happened in Brazil. Brazil is growing just organically. We're getting all these leads, people are buying, even in English, was not even in Portuguese. And that's when the company saw the potential, actually, properly translated the site or localized, a few things for the market. But it was just organic. People were just looking for us coming from here, and we saw this spike in growth.
Do you recall the company being funded by investors, like venture capitalists or angel investors?
Yeah, we've been both. In the early days, there was some angel funding that kind of helped get the company going along with the founders.
Like day 1, day 10, or like when it already had a business model going, like already revenue? You don't remember?
Actually, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But fairly early, definitely did take on some angel funding, and then we've gone through kind of 4 major series of venture funding.
It helps growth, right?
Definitely, right? Yeah, it's really helped us grow the way that frankly the customer demand required us to do.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've known a little bit of what is already going on, but I think yesterday you gave us some big news. Like, are you filing for an IPO in New York?
We did file for an IPO yesterday. It's information that you can find online to see the details about that. But yes, we did announce that milestone actually just yesterday.
And you have some expectation, or is it something about the change or not, or?
I mean, certainly there'll be change with.
It's not as easy as now we have a new air conditioner. I mean, it's something more impactful than that. To worry about.
I'd actually like to see the air conditioner.
That would be really nice.
It can be a problem at times, but
you can buy more air conditioners now.
Yeah, in a nutshell, I think that's what ultimately this does. It gives us the flexibility to there's more options now that we can pursue as a business.
Okay, and like, do you feel you are opening offices in other countries more and more? What's the general direction?
Yeah, so one cool thing about Zendesk is it's been a very global company almost from the beginning. Our founders actually started the company in Copenhagen, Denmark, and eventually moved officially, their own personal lives as well as the business to San Francisco in the United States. But we've got 2 major offices in the United States, and then we have our kind of Europe headquarters based in London, also a sizable office in Dublin, Ireland as well. And then in the Asia-Pacific region, we base that out of Melbourne, Australia. And then similar to the way we described the office here in Sao Paulo, we have some other small offices, including Tokyo, in Japan, Manila in the Philippines. So we've got people spread around. And certainly there's the potential to continue to grow and open other offices in other places, but no firm plans we can share about any of them.
Are you joining Elon Musk and going to other planets too?
That's definitely in our future plans. Yeah, we're hoping to be one of the early early people on the ground with him and Mars, but wherever the customer demand takes us, we will go.
As long as they have clients there.
Yes, as long as there's businesses and customers there, we'll be there.
Okay, so this is what the IPO is about. Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
All right, and have you been to all of those offices?
I have not personally.
I've been to London, that's in San Francisco, of course. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. Yeah, London, San Francisco.
But we do as a company though very much encourage and do a lot of employees visiting the different offices. In fact, we've had a bunch of employees recently relocate from the San Francisco headquarters to some of the other offices, just to help spread the culture of the company a little bit, get people more kind of understanding the way that we do things, and also give them great experiences. It's great for employees and retention and morale and all those things to give people opportunities to go see and work in other places. So I think we're big believers in getting our employees to share their experiences and have time with their fellow employees in different places.
I want to talk about the culture because as I question you guys, you didn't mention you were like monks before. So is the company is the culture like trying to be Zen, or what is the culture in the company? What is it?
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing. It's always tough to describe kind of what your culture is or something. I think the Zen thing is more the feeling that we want to give our customers with the product. Customer support is it's not always the most fun job in the world. And in fact, if you're in customer support, probably most of your day is hearing complaints and negative and people having problems. And so we want to help people bring a little bit different feeling to that job, that kind of feeling of calmness and Zen, and frankly even a little bit of fun. I think you'll see in our brand with our logo and the various different assets in our brand. Yeah, you can show it there. I think you'll see that, while it's a very serious business that we have, and it's a real business, we try not to take ourselves too serious. We try to have a little bit of fun with it as well. We hope that comes through from our culture, but ultimately comes through the product and to our customers. The culture at Zendesk, though, it's the best that I've worked at in my career by far. I think we have a very open and honest and transparent culture. I think that's one of our core values. We're very open about information and share with our employees as well as our customers as well. So I think transparency is a big part of our culture. We try to be humble about what we do. We don't profess that we have the answers to everything, or that if you put Zendesk in, that's the magic bullet that's going to suddenly make your customer satisfaction the best ever. We know that this business of customer service is a people business. And we have a tool that we think can help you.
You don't have the answers, you just provide frequently asked questions.
Yeah. We give you the knowledge base, but so I think those things. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention about our culture that we like to have a lot of fun. I think it's a place that has a good balance of working really hard, but also enjoying that there's life outside of work. And making that a priority. And yes, a few drinks.
Yes,
we do have traditions at all the offices around the world that every Friday at 4:30 it's cocktail hour. It's time for happy hour. So I think things like that have kept a good fun vibe, and also allow employees to spend time with each other and bond and that sort of thing. So I'm talking a lot.
No, you're fine. No, you should talk. Yeah. And maybe that's why we won the Sexiest Company by TechCrunch this year.
Yeah. Quite sexy, as you can see.
Brazilian.
You were picked because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you definitely came to hire because we just had São Paulo Fashion Week and stuff. So
we're right there.
Yeah, you have an agenda there.
Yes, please send your resume.
Yes, thank you.
Send it.
Yeah, or is it caipirinha because today is Friday too, so yeah.
Caipirinha, you've now mentioned my one Portuguese word, so I've learned that quite well this week.
Using a lot now.
Using that a lot.
I was thinking, do you guys get to meet the founders often?
Yeah, it's really funny how accessible they are. I can walk to Miko or Morton, I can walk to their office. The door is always open. Hey Miko, what's up? Can we talk for a second? They're very accessible. You don't feel that there's like many levels, it's not bureaucratic, and so it makes the work thing much more easy and light. it's very accessible.
Yeah, and important to note too, all three of our co-founders of the company are still active roles in the business. CEO, being one of them, but all three of them are still very active in the business, and it's great. Like you said, very, very open. I think pretty much all the employees have interacted with them in one way or another, and continue to do so.
Heartbleed, the bug, the one. Did it have any impact? Like, did it come as a shocking worry?
I don't necessarily. I don't know if I would say shocking or big worry. Certainly, those things are always a surprise.
Did you recommend your clients to change their passwords?
Definitely. We try to be very proactive with our. We in fact have not too far in the distant past. We hired an excellent VP of security at our company to really focus specifically on these types of issues, ensuring that our own operations are as secure as possible, both the product as well as all of our internal tools and things that employees do, but really trying to keep up on those types of things that are out there in the world and could ultimately impact us or our clients. So we try to be very proactive, even if something like that doesn't, or that we don't have any information that it actually did negatively impact our clients. We'll still put out the word and try to inform people to be as careful as possible, kind of put out a warning to people. So we try to be very transparent and proactive with that stuff. And I think so far we've seen customers really appreciate that.
Yeah, one reason I believe you are a sexy company is because things from inside other companies. I mean, that's your big base, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about many tech companies provide open APIs. Do you guys too?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's been a core product value also from the very early days, is we wanted this system to not only be easy to use, as you mentioned earlier, and very accessible in that sense, but also very accessible in terms of the architecture and allowing people to integrate. So we've got a large suite of APIs. We've got a dedicated website, actually, developer.zendesk.com, where you can get all the documentation, use cases, examples of how you can utilize that API. And we've got our own apps marketplace as well, of well over 100 applications or apps, much like an Apple, iTunes store, that kind of thing, App Store. Where we've got lots of third parties, so lots of other companies that integrate with us and have built apps that tie into Zendesk, as well as apps that ourselves and our community have created to just extend the functionality a little further or help us talk and fit in with other systems in business. So very open system, and frankly I think it's one of the great strengths and differentiators that's been a key part of our success.
And we do look for local, this app store is growing for sure, and we do look for local companies, to work with many companies in Brazil, apps that might make sense in Brazil, doesn't make sense in the US. We're definitely keeping an eye on the market, trying to now expand that a little more to the market.
Yeah.
Are most of those apps created by clients, or is it like, to what extent, like, I have a business, it's an online service, and I want Zendesk to be part of the features that I provide or use in my app. So do my clients automatically become your clients, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. They would, if you're having it integrated between two pieces of software, Zendesk being one of them, they would ultimately still need to be Zendesk clients and work with us to get that side of the equation, if you will. But I mean, the first part of your question, lots of these applications are created outside of us. Lots of individual people, customers of ours creating their own apps to extend it further, or like we said, other companies, and really just about, gosh, any major tech company you can think of right now in some way we've probably got an integration with. Something
peculiar, like an app for...
Oh gosh, yeah, what's a good example of that?
Caipirinha service? Or...
Yes, that's what I was actually thinking of in the back of my head. We don't have that yet, so far. We do have some apps that do some fun things. That we've seen some of our clients create apps where they'll put a game right in the middle of the application. In fact, one of our clients is a gaming manufacturer, actually a pretty popular one. I'm not sure if I can say their name now, but a very popular.
Does it have a dog in their logo?
No, it doesn't. But so we actually have a lot of gaming companies that use us, and yeah, we've seen some of them be able to embed their game interface right in the app. So, like I said, support agents, it's a tough job. you're dealing with a lot of negativity through the day. So giving them the ability to take a quick break, but actually stay right in Zendesk and do something fun, we see that kind of thing happening, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And do you have some stories about your clients not only complaining but saying something cheerful? I mean, does Zendesk get that sort of delivering wow?
Absolutely.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that all the time. You get that kind of feedback all the time. We find that a lot of people have a lot of passion for Zendesk once they find out about us, or they're working out through us, or the issues are being resolved through Zendesk. We get messages like "thank you very much" and so forth. Even though we're really just providing the platform, but people are really passionate about the tool.
They thank Zendesk, not.
Sometimes, honestly, sometimes it comes across that way. But yeah, lots of our clients share stories about their experiences with their end users, and that's great for us to hear. And ultimately that's kind of what it's about for us. It's our ultimate success comes from our clients having better relationships with their clients, and that bridge, and that's kind of the way we look at it, and that's what ultimately drives our business now and in the future.
So if you are really profound and deep about delivering that, it's like very indirect, but sort of in a way it's indirect.
And it's interesting because we often say, even if some people maybe haven't heard of our brand or our company, chances are you've interacted with it, because the big number of customers we have, and like I mentioned earlier, across all different industries and types. As an end user, if you've reached out to businesses for support, chances are you've probably interacted with Zendesk, whether you know it or not. And that's really exciting to us, is the sheer number of people who's, even if it's just in a small way, whose lives we're able to touch in that sense.
You mentioned like a phone call. Does Zendesk works through phones?
Yeah, we do. So we definitely believe in the world of customer support in multi-channel and offering, whether you're going to reach out to support through a phone call, traditional phone call, email, web chat, social media, the list goes on. Our philosophy, and that we try to espouse to our customers, is you need to be where your customer is. And in today's world, your customer's all over the place, right? They're walking around with one of these. You've got to be able to communicate where they want to communicate if you want to ultimately succeed and have the highest satisfaction. So we believe in multi-channel. And in fact, not just multi-channel, but also a term we use called omni-channel, which I think takes that one step further, where it's not just offering these different communication abilities, but making sure you have a consistent experience across all of them. If I reach out via email, and Marcio here picks up the phone and calls, and you tweet, everybody should get the same feeling and the same experience as if they're still talking to the same business. I think historically, right, you walk into a store, you get one experience. You go on the website, you get a different experience. You call, you get an experience. We hope, and we try in our own business to make that as consistent as possible across all those ways of communicating.
Okay, so it's omni and not from being
No, that's a good marketing.
You could do a banner with that.
Yeah, like that.
See, marketing ideas.
We'll put a name down there,
Okay.
We'll give you credit for that.
Send me a banner then.
Easy.
So what else, guys? I was thinking about how many of your free clients, I mean, you have some free plans, right?
Right.
How many or how much of those, what percentage of those become paying customers?
Yeah, unfortunately I can't give you any exact figure on that, but we do have, to clarify, we do have some free plans that we often offer, especially to startups and startups affiliated with incubators and accelerators. We've got some really nice programs to help get our software in your hands and help you at that stage. And then our plans in general, we have various different plans kind of suiting your different business needs, and they start as small as $1 per agent per month. So there's some very affordable plans no matter what size business you are. And we definitely see, it ultimately is core to our business that people upgrade and move up over time as their needs change. We want to be there for them and have the functionality and needs for them. So to answer your question, it's significant.
You say as low as $1, but if I have like 10,000 agents, it's still like $10,000 a month then.
Sure. Yeah. Ultimately, it is a per user pricing, and if you're a company that's fortunate enough to be that big, where you've got thousands of support agents, then yeah, ultimately the price is going to be in that kind of range. But I think compared to a lot of the legacy systems...
Or am I negotiating then?
You do have a sales team, I'll just leave it there. But I think ultimately, you know, we find our pricing, and I think our customers do, to be extremely competitive. And I think most of the legacy systems that existed and were popular before Zendesk, much, much more expensive. And in fact, that was one of the drivers of the business in the beginning, the reason the founders created the business. Democratize this type of help desk software, make it available for everybody, give small people the same power and functionality as the biggest companies out there. And I think that was really one of the drivers that started the business.
Do
we have banks in Brazil using Zendesk?
We have a bank in Minas Gerais. Yeah, we have a few other financial institutes in Brazil.
Telecom companies, phone companies?
Small presence, but we're definitely talking to a few. Yeah, here in Brazil, we literally are talking to everyone. Como se diz, o leque de empresas, né? It's huge in Brazil. You know, from chocolate, from cacao show to tech companies to fashion, a lot of retailers, or fashion industry, e-commerces. It really fits any company. So,
what area, what field of business has the most tickets? I mean, like e-commerce. Because it's about delivery, and it's Brazil, where sometimes you get some logistics.
Certainly that's up the list. In fact, we have one thing that we do at Zendesk that we're quite proud of is every quarter we release what we call our benchmark report. And within that report, we're able to look across all of our customers and kind of aggregate statistics like which industries are getting the highest ticket volumes or which countries are having the highest customer satisfaction. So whether it's by industry, by company size, or by geography, we're able to summarize a lot of the metrics that we're seeing. And off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure who's number one in sort of ticket volume, but definitely different forms of technology and e-commerce and retail extremely high on that list.
Is it internal? I mean, these reports?
No, we make this available.
Yeah, it's available on the site now.
Yeah, you can find it on our core website at zendesk.com/benchmark. But yeah, this is stuff we make public about every 3 months. We kind of go back and look at the quarter, see how things change quarter over quarter, and report on this. So it's something, and in fact, it's not only public on the website as kind of a report that you can access. We also make some of the data available right in our product. So on some of our dashboards and reports, and this is one of my favorite parts of the product, frankly, is a company is able to look at their own metrics, but see those side by side with benchmarks. So you can compare your customer satisfaction to your competitors, frankly, other people in your industry, and see how you're doing, which can either help you go to your boss and get a raise if you're doing better than your competition, or don't go. Yeah, or don't go. But in fact, funny story is a lot of customers are using that as a way to go try to pitch for headcount or for additional resources, is they can show, hey, we're lagging behind some of the other industries or other people in our area. So it's a very, very powerful tool, and I think definitely something unique about us in our industry is not only having that data, but putting it right in the product where people can access it with their own data.
If you could say how many tickets from day one till today in the company, it's like...
Wow. I wish I did know that stat off the top of my head, but I mean, we're talking...
Or like a day, these days. 1 million, 10 million.
Millions, but millions definitely. It's an extremely large number. Yeah. We need to bring back, at some point, back in the older days, we had this... we had a web page you could go to where it was a map of the world, and in real time it was showing tickets happening all around the world. But frankly, it got so big, the number got so freaking high that it was too much resource and bandwidth to keep it running. Which I think just illustrates the point of how many tickets there are. But it's a staggering number that blows us away.
So maybe you're bigger than ticketing companies. The bigger ticket companies not selling tickets, but it does tickets.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well then, any questions for the Brazilians? Entrepreneurs, investors, tech guys?
I mean, I don't know questions, but
an invitation.
yeah, I mean, I would just definitely say for me personally, this has been my first time in Brazil, being here the last week, and I've had the opportunity to meet lots and lots of interesting entrepreneurs, lots of interesting startups, lots of interesting companies. And I was saying this last night at our Silicon Valley Day event that what I've seen and experienced here is the real spirit of Silicon Valley is alive and well here in Brazil. And I think you know, maybe the piece of advice I would give, or what we've been talking about with a lot of people is, maybe there's not the same history of sort of startup and technology success that there is in a place like the San Francisco Bay Area, but don't let that hold you back. Now in nowadays world, it really just takes having an idea and going and doing it, not taking no for an answer. And we've seen examples of that happening. I've seen the passion that people have here to sort of recreate the Silicon Valley and build these kind of companies, and it's really exciting, and we're glad to be able to play just a little small part of that. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's really about that. I've been living in the Valley for about 12 years now. So it has been really great to see the changes in the market here in the Valley too. When I moved there, it wasn't really, the way it is right now. But I'm really happy to be back more in São Paulo. Happy to share more of the experience, be here with Zendesk, but also just happy to talk to people and really share a bit of the experience and hear more about the market. And I get very, very excited, and now I almost feel like maybe it's time to come back here. Maybe it's time to be in São Paulo.
You need to keep your job.
Yeah, exactly. I have to pay my bills, but it's just a very exciting time for Zendesk. But for me personally, it's very, very exciting to be back here in the market.
Yeah.
So personally, while also as someone in a business, did you have any previous idea about Brazil that now changed after coming here? Like I thought,
related to startup or just anything?
Especially related to startup, but business in general, or.
Gosh, I don't know if I should even go here, but I'll say that when mentioning I was coming to Brazil to people, whether they knew Brazil or not, a lot of times the first thing out of their mouth was "be careful." And, but honestly, I found this to be an extremely welcoming place. I found people to be extremely friendly, even to a gringo like me who can't speak the language. It's been very comfortable getting around, being out in the streets, hanging out with people. So I've been pleasantly surprised in that aspect. And I guess I would just emphasize how friendly and welcoming everybody's been. It's been really, really, really nice.
It's not like a different business dynamic. No, it's the same way of doing business.
Yeah, I think in the business sense, maybe that's been a slight surprise. Although I knew from working with a lot of these guys, but yeah, it doesn't feel that different. Doesn't feel that different at all.
It's the same passion for the business. The startups we talk to. There's so much passion, just like in the Valley. It does feel very similar.
And Marcio, have you heard any idea from Brazilians previous to them going to the Valley and then they changed their mind? Like they thought something about the Valley, but actually they discovered it was different.
I think the Brazilians I met that have been to the Valley, they think of something, but it's actually a little more. They don't expect to be that much from there, so they get so excited that they just can't believe, how much energy, or people are talking about technology all the time. You go to a coffee shop and, you meet people. For the people I talk to, they find it to be incredibly overwhelming and amazing. So it really it's more than they expect.
And we would definitely like to extend an invitation to any of you out there who visit San Francisco or the Silicon Valley area. We love having guests come by our office and show you how we do things, take you around our area, that sort of stuff. We have guests all the time. In fact, Brazil in particular.
I know, I meet people all the time.
It feels like not a week goes by that Marcio's not, hey, can you come say hi to these people that are visiting from Brazil? So, so we love it, and reach out to us at Zendesk, and we'd love to have you come by and visit.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. Keep
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.